Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Elena Kagan, the next Supreme Court Justice, a socialist on the United States Supreme Court. That's what we would have if she is confirmed. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Sean Akers, dean of the Helms School of Government at Liberty University and director of cultural affairs at Liberty Counsel. Sean, Elena Kagan is someone who's coming up for a final vote at the Senate for the full Senate vote in August of this year. They want to have her on the United States Supreme Court when the term begins in November as a new justice. She, I believe, will pose a significant threat to the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's talk today about her socialism views. We've talked in the past about her distorting the evidence on partial birth abortion, frauding the court. We've talked about her position on the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, her rejection of natural rights, and she doesn't support the Second Amendment. In fact, she indicated before she has no sympathy for the Second Amendment. Now let's talk about socialism. Tomorrow let's talk about international law and her position on that. Socialism. She wrote a thesis in 1981. And in that thesis, it is entitled, To the Final Conflict, Socialism in New York City, 1900 to 1933. She specifically wants to thank her brother Mark, quote, whose involvement in radical causes led me to explore the history of American radicalism in the hope of clarifying my own political ideas. So that's how she begins her thesis, thanking her brother for being a radical so that she herself could be decided and piqued to her interest to explore American radicalism, which she did, and that's what she discusses in her thesis.
Well, and that absolutely set the tone for all that followed. When you read through her thesis, you can see that she does find herself politically, but that self that she found is the one that is now up for confirmation to the United States Supreme Court. One of the things that she said, this is striking. Again, we've talked in past shows this week about the general approach of making America what you want it to be, making the Constitution what you want it to be, rather than what it actually is. And here's one of the things that she said that's very telling in the 1981 thesis. She says, and I quote, Americans are more likely to speak of a golden past than of a golden future, of capitalism's glories than of socialism's greatness. Conformity overrides dissent, and the desire to conserve has overwhelmed the urge to alter. What you see here, Matt, is a deep admiration for both revolutionary ideas and particularly socialist revolutionary ideas. The idea that the conformity, the conservatives that would want to stick to the Constitution are holding America back from reaching the greatness that it could reach if it would only adopt radical socialist revolutionary ideas.
And that's why she calls herself a progressive. She specifically acknowledged that she's a progressive, which sounds like, that's an interesting term. You're progressive, you're moving forward. Progressive is another word for socialism. That's how it's been used as a political term. It's not this flowery, nice term. Conservative, in her view, is somebody who is stuck in the past, stuck in the old glory days of capitalism. But progressivism is moving forward to this glorious future of socialism. And socialism is where you gut free enterprise. The government becomes the Lord rather than unalienable rights.
That's right.
And you then take from those who make to give to those who don't make because they choose not to make, not because they can't make. It's like when I was in the Soviet Union in 1990. That was a socialist country. The next year it ultimately collapsed. One of the things that they did there was they eliminated competition. So no one was incentivized to do good either privately or in their own business, because if they did, the government would take it away and everybody would be flattened at the same level. So for example, when you went to a hotel, you checked into the airport, You didn't have the choice to choose which hotel to go to. They would assign you, the government would, where to go at the airport. And then you would know when you got there which one you were there. You'd have to call your home and say, I'm at this hotel, because you didn't have a prearranged hotel. The reason for that is it didn't matter whether this hotel was doing good or this hotel was doing bad. It's just a random assignment. You go here, you go here. So there's no reason why this hotel should do good or bad, because you're always going to get guests. When you went to the hotel, there's a lady, and her only job, she was paid by the government, was to sit by the elevator all day long. And when you got off the elevator, you would give her her key. When you got on the elevator, you would give her your key. Now, you could have stuck it somewhere, but they paid someone just to do that job, to make sure that they were all employed. That's socialism, where it literally robs the lifeblood out of the environment, because it takes people who want to pursue, who want to achieve, who want to work extra, who want to be inventive. It flattens them down to a common denominator with people who really could care less about work, less about success, less about life.
Well, and Matt, this is really a self-fulfilling prophecy, because for competition, our ideas on competition are largely shaped by whether we allow God into our lives and into society or not. You see, when God rules in our personal lives, then competition becomes this idea of becoming everything that God destined you to be. He's got a plan for your life. You're trying to fulfill that plan, and in watching what other people do, it shows you what's possible. It inspires you. You limit yourself, you govern yourself, and competition drives everything forward.